ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Helicopter 7 Tango Victor, request to land.
Welcome to the city. You are cleared for touchdown.
It's Monday night, Detroit. You know what time it is? It's time to finish what we started. Let's go!
We're in their territory! We play Detroit ball all day! Let's go get them what they came for, baby!
Off the grip. Monday night, we getting gritty. The 3-1-3 versus the city. Ain't pretty. No mercy, no pity. Inch by inch, in the air for your city. Fair fight at the 50. Rematch the reclash. Defend the revenge. Dog fight. But a win is a win. For sure.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Whoa! What a run! To the end zone! That is Monday Night Magic!
Well, the fireworks, the flyover, the foghorn, we must be getting set to go here in week number 17 on a crisp night in Santa Clara, California. Glad you're with us tonight. 13-2 Lions taking on the 6-9 49ers. Kyle Shanahan, 8 years as the lead man here with San Francisco. He and the organization have come tantalizingly close twice in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is exactly where Dan Campbell and his crew want to end up in New Orleans. Super Bowl 59. Get through tonight. Look ahead to next week and that home date against the Vikings. Debo is getting ready to go, and glad you're with us as the Lions won the toss. They defer. 49ers start tonight with the ball.
We're bringing everything we got to this game, and we are playing, and I don't care what it looks like and where it's at or who's this, who's that. We're going out to play and win this game out on the West Coast. So there you go.
That was on Monday. That's what he said publicly. Again, for the Lions, the division and the #1 seed, and Detroit's never been a #1 seed, comes down to next week with their home date against the Minnesota Vikings. But privately and to his team, talked to one of his top players today. He said, Dan Campbell said, we are going full throttle, going to try to get the win tonight, to the surprise of absolutely nobody.
Yes, and it is the message that you would expect. I really feel Dan Campbell reminds me so much of Jimmy Johnson, the guy I played for, a Hall of Fame coach. And you know, their styles are a little different, but they go about it the same way. And I'm not surprised that Dan Campbell has said that. And that's been the message to this team all week, and that's what they're here to do. Points. It's happened too many times.
The Lions will receive the second half kickoff, and they will be trailing by 8 as we send it down to Lisa.
Thank you, Joe. Kyle, despite the circumstances, you've said that your guys have shown no quit this week. What do you like about what you're seeing from your team tonight?
I mean, I like it. I like how we're playing, man. Our 4 possessions, we've got 4 scores except that missed field goal. We just got to get them to third down more. They're running the ball too well. We get them to third down. We got a chance to get them off the field. It was a big-time stop there on 4th and 3.
All right, thanks for your time.
Well, we have seen 472 combined yards, 34 combined points, and touchdowns were scored on the first 5 drives of the game. Good game. 8-point lead for the 49ers. All-State halftime coming up next.
Like, you know, to check your school's saying first before saying it.
High tide. High tide, guys. High tide. High tide. High tide. High tide.
It's roll tide.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
This is the Allstate Halftime.
Welcome. It is the Allstate halftime here. The Niners with an 8-point lead with Ryan Clark and J.C. Kelsey. I am Scott Van Pelt. And we had a lot of questions on Countdown. What will the Lions do? Who will we see? It's been all their guys. But, Ryan, the problem on defense is this is who they've got on defense. Yeah. How concerning is it the only stop was by a missed field goal?
Yeah, listen, that's the biggest problem, right? These are all your people. This is your team going all out to win the game, and you actually haven't stopped the San Francisco 49ers. They just ran out of time there late in the half, and so they're going to continue to be attacked this way. And you saw the fourth down attempt where it's a broken up pass in the end zone to Sam Laporta. That was a necessity for this offense because they know they can't get stopped defensively.
So, I mean, we talk about the identity of Dan Campbell. He goes for it. But in this case, you can't get a stop. You don't have a choice, do you?
Yeah, you have to go for it. And you don't want to be put in that place as a coach. Dan Campbell's aggressiveness has been something that's become a calling card of the Detroit Lions because it helps them find ways to win. It seems like it's going to be a way to try not to lose games going forward.
We had a go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, listen, that's the most. If San Fran makes that field goal, it's the most points in the first half that Detroit's given up all year.
Yeah.
Right? And this is by a team that's not going to be in the playoffs. Now, Brock Purdy's showing that he wants to get paid this offseason. He's doing a pretty good job today so far. But, yeah, not an impressive performance right there from Detroit.
We had a laugh as we watched this, but I'm not kidding. Who likes to pitch the ball backwards more, your brother or Ben Johnson Lions?
Hey, Trav says all the time it's the most underutilized rule in the NFL NFL rule book. So, yeah, I mean, listen, if you do it the right way and you don't do it all willy-nilly and unsafe, it can be a dynamic tool, and Detroit has shown to use it the right way.
That's what I was going to say. The way that Detroit utilizes it, though, you can tell there's so much preparation and timing that goes into it, and they create explosive plays also off of it. But that used to be the cool thing about Detroit. It's starting to feel like the thing they have to do in order to stay in these games.
I think Ben Johnson's made the point that when they went to, wishbone and pitching the ball all over the place, it might have seemed like a risky play. But the way they do it, predicated on timing with their skill position players with the ball in their hands, it's just like your brother when he's looking for somebody running wide with a cheat. It feels like a play that other teams should do.
They can do it with offensive linemen. Yeah. That's how coordinated they are as a team.
Right. The trick plays in that Lions Ben Johnson's playbook, it seems like it's deeper than anybody else's. But at this point, they've got to have them because they've got to score almost every time they touch it.
Absolutely. And I think, Jared Goff, they still have dynamic weapons, but that's something that's, it's fun to run those plays. Like when you're an offensive player and you get to do some of this stuff, it just makes being on the field fun together. So that's something that they all love doing. I imagine that they're going to keep doing that, one, because they love it, but also, two, because they're going to have to.
Yeah. The issue at the moment is not that side of the ball for Detroit. It's getting stops. The only one they have at the moment, again, wasn't a stop so much as a miss for San Francisco. More Allstate halftime coming up right after this. Saturday, we have an NFL doubleheader on ESPN and ABC. We'll get you started with a countdown, 3 Eastern time ahead of the Browns taking on the Ravens. Baltimore clinches the AFC North with a victory. If the Ravens lose, Pittsburgh can clinch the division with a victory in our second game against the Bengals. Of course, the Bengals have an avenue to make it into the playoffs. They're going to need some help from both Miami and Kansas City. They need Denver and Miami to lose, I should say. Now, a couple of playoff teams for sure, fellas, that we will see on Saturday. In terms of questions you're looking for answers to, Ryan, where do you start?
It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team's on a 3-game skid and just not playing good football at all. You played the Philadelphia Eagles, the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, but you can't head into the playoffs 0-4. One, for the seeding purposes, but like Coach Tomlin says, you don't want to go in limping into the tournament. But you're playing a Cincinnati Bengals team that is as scary as any on offense. This could be something that leads into the playoffs for a one-and-done for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and listen, I want to watch Cincinnati play. I love Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. They've been so fun to watch together, and this might be, unfortunately, the last game that those three guys get to play together. They've been so dynamic, and hopefully they get in the playoffs. I want to see them in the playoffs. I know you don't want to hear that as a Steelers.
No, I got
you. Yeah, I mean, they're fun to watch. And Joe has played to the level that I think he deserves to be in the playoffs.
Hey, Scott, and also, too, I ask you this question. You're the head coach of a team. Would you rather see the Steelers coming or the Cincinnati Bengals?
I don't want any part of Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense right now. Who would? And that's what makes it so fascinating from Kansas City's perspective. You take on a Denver team, you don't want any part of Joe Burrow. You've seen the very best of him in the playoffs. And so those are just some of the subplots that are in play. Again, we will have that doubleheader coming up. It's Cleveland against Baltimore. Baltimore, a massive favorite. If they win the North. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati at night. Countdown gets us started on Saturday. For Ryan and Jason, I'm Scott here. We will see you when this game is done. Coming up out of the locker room, the Lions will get the football. They need that offense to keep humming as they trail at the half by 8. We'll see you when this one is done. Enjoy the second half here in Santa Clara.
Thank you for watching the All-State Halftime.
Private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Tonight's first half highlights are presented by Target. Welcome to Santa Clara, California, and welcome to this rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. Pulling left, Purdy throws, caught, Pearsall.
It's a good throw by Brock Purdy as well.
Juszczyk gets a block and in for the touchdown.
See if in fact he did get in, and sure did.
Here's a little lateral to William. He's down the sideline.
A lot of teams try them. When Detroit runs them, they work.
Purdy fakes the throw into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. Target circle, the best way to get more target. Thrilling first half, and a moment ago, Lisa Salters caught up with Lions head coach Dan Campbell.
Dan, you came here expecting a fight. You're getting a fight. What do you want to see on this opening drive to set the tone for the rest of the second half?
Yeah, look, I think right now the big thing is red zone. You know, we got to finish with points offensively and defensively. We allowed them down there, and they're scoring 7. It was a good stop at the end. But that's really the difference right now. And then I told the team, the things that don't require talent, we've got to be at our best there, man. That's what we talked about. We got to be at our best. And look, San Fran, we know what they are, man. It's a good team. They've had some injuries, but we knew this wasn't going to be easy.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Good luck second half.
Thank you.
Lisa, Dan, thank you. Somebody get that man some tea. Sounds like he's going to go live in a van down by the river. He's the best. He's about as genuine a guy as you will find. He wears his emotion on his sleeve. And
I thought it was interesting. He says we got to come away with points when we get in the red zone. Well, you would have if you settled for a field goal.
Good point. Well, he is going full throttle tonight. May have lost his voice along the way as Moody will kick it away. Set up as they trail by 8. We'll welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. Joe Buck, the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman, and well, I know we're gonna talk. I think the majority of the second half about the Lions defense. That's kind of the issue going into week number 18. But right now, the Detroit Lions offense.
That was a fun first half of football. It was a lot of offense. I don't know that either of these defensive coordinators would be too excited about that first half, but.
Well, just like that, we're tied 21-21. Lions owner and chair Sheila Ford Hamp stood by the team in 2022 after a 1-5 start.
I know this is difficult. Our rebuild is hard, but we really believe in our process. We really believe we're going to turn this thing around the right way. I just don't want everyone to push the panic button and give up the ship, because I think we've got the right people in place to pull this off.
And boy, was she right. Since then, the Lions have gone 33-10 in the regular season. Took over June of 2020, succeeding her mother Martha as principal owner less than a year later. January of 21, Brad Holmes comes aboard. Dan Campbell's hired. And what a combination she put in place with Holmes and Campbell. I mean, it's thrilling to see what they're doing with the Lions. Well, big nights tonight for these two quarterbacks. 272, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions for Goff. 306, 3-1 for Purdy. couple of missed field goals by Moody, who I think his confidence is sinking by the minute. Standing in a 6-point win as they'll go to 14-2, adding to their franchise record. And Kyle Shanahan, his group came to play too, and then questions about the health of Brock Purdy after this one. On Saturday, a Week 18 ESPN and ABC doubleheader. Browns and Ravens early, Bengals and Steelers late. This has been a presentation of the NFL on ESPN and ABC. Lions meant it. They come out, they get a win. Time now to send it to Scott Van Pelt.
Joe, thank you very much.